There's well over 10,000 people now in downtown Minneapolis, and honestly, I don't know where most of these people came from. They just literally came out of nowhere. Yellow buses were dropping people off, things like that. Everybody's yelling "ICE out."
You have arrived.
There's currently a constitutional crisis in the U.S. state of Minnesota. There's a mix of police and federal agents receiving orders from different institutions at the state and federal levels. One side under President Donald J. Trump and the other side on Governor Tim Walz. I'm gonna link in the description some videos that can better explain the legal implications of the situation than I can. And all of that results in the question of where the loyalties of law enforcement officers truly lay. But in this video, I wanted to point out some things about Minnesota itself. Specifically, why has this particular state emphasized this symbol so much in its government image? Why did this major city in Minnesota adopt so many technocratic and Marxist symbols in its city flag? Now, first of all, let's look at the current flag of Minnesota itself. This one was adopted after a referendum in 2024. The 8-pointed star, also known as the North Star, has been used in Minnesota and many other US states for decades. But the star itself is modified in this particular case. Supposedly, it symbolizes abundance of lakes and rivers. But in ancient cultures, it was also associated with fertility and sexuality. The North Star is also the planet Venus, and it is consistently associated with Middle Eastern exaltation. But now pay attention. The angels are at its edges, and there will bear the throne of your Lord. Above them, the day 8 of them. That is from Surah al-Haqqa, ayat 17, or Surah 69, verse 17 of the Quran. Yes, this star is everywhere in Islamic architecture, banners, and Quranic decorations. Why would the Minnesotan government choose a symbol which is partial to a certain theology and a specific prophecy of the end of the world? Here are a couple more verses. By the sky and the night comer, or the star, and what will make you know what the night comer is? It is the piercing star. That is from Surah al-Tariq, chapter 86, verses 1 to 3. We have adorned the nearest heaven with lamps, or stars, and made them missiles against the devils. From Surah al-Mulk, 67:5. The Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem has been said to have been built atop the ruins of Solomon's Temple, the holiest site in Judaism. But of course, we can only take this as legend, but what is substantial is that this mosque, the second holiest site in Islam, is the exact shape as this star. I think it's also worth mentioning that the floor points of the Minnesota State Capitol's rotunda is in the shape of this star. But it's not quite the one that we see on Middle Eastern Islamic flags. That being said, the material of this floor on the state capital of Minnesota is made of Numidian marble, which is imported from the Nile in Egypt. Now, I said at the beginning, now I show another flag of Minnesota's largest city. And this flag is the flag of the city of Minneapolis. Probably the most left-wing city in the state. This has been the city's flag since 1955. What I find weird is that the state government website describes the microscope in the bottom right corner of the canton as a symbol of research and craftsmanship. Now, the first rule of disinformation is you never admit as a government that you're actively looking into gene editing programs. I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Now, for the sake of prediction, let's say that Minnesota mandates the North Star on all towns and city flags for the sake of branding their little revolution, which happens to be going on at the moment. In addition, they'll need to infuse symbols of state welfare and workers' unity, along with racial diversity. But under this North star with 8 points. It is meant to hold up the throne of an authority whose puppets on Earth are fundamentally un-American and with a racial supremacy agenda. And I won't say particularly who this group of people is, but we know their religion for sure. Now, comment what you think is going to happen in Minnesota between ICE agents, the National Guard, and the Minnesota State Police. Who do you think is going to win? And as always, I'm Jack Existential. Share, like, and subscribe.